And the cool thing is, I get the dual angle here, right? So once I get it set right, it's like, greetings and salutations. It is I, Johnny, the artist currently known as the SoulPilot, with one of the fortune cookie farmers of the day, Sebastian. Sebastian, how you doing?
Doing great.
We just had an amazing conversation with Dr. Ed Kaye, saxophone player extraordinaire, provocative thinker, and professor at the College of Miami-Dade. And nice conversation, talk about music, life, and liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and creativity. And I was just showing Sebastian here one of my songs, a song called Naked Minds. That was written back in 2000. I remember exactly when the song was written. I actually wrote the date down on there. Monday, July 14th, 2000. In the book that I'm making, The Songs from the Soul, you'll be able to click on the dates and find out your...
Crazy is I know exactly where I was on that day, too.
Really? Where were you on that day?
I was in Paris.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm half French, and this is French Independence Day.
Interesting.
So when we were in France, if we were in France on that day, and 2001 was the last year that we went as a family, we went every summer up until 2001. So July 14th, my grandpa had an apartment. It's about 7 blocks away from the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, that's so cool.
So imagine like 4th of July, like, they probably don't do anything in Times Square, but imagine like a big, central spot.
Would they do something on the river, the Macy's fireworks show?
Okay. So imagine being like 7
Is that light
blocks
flashing,
from
by the way? The red light flashing?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I can barely...
It should be like, let me just double check. Just make sure.
Pretty sure it is.
Yeah, it's flashing. Just want to make sure we're recording, boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, and aliens throughout the universe. So I was going to a concert that day. I was waiting for my brother. He got stuck in traffic, picking me up in Brooklyn. I was living in Williamsburg, and we were going to go see the Foo Fighters, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers were headlining. So it was the year 2000, so I guess it was the big Generator tour. I don't remember exactly which album, Nothing Else to Lose tour. I don't remember exactly which tour it was, but Learning to Fly, I think, just came out, that song.
Okay.
It wasn't The Shape and Color, which one of my favorite tours I ever saw. I saw them live on that one. But as I'm waiting, a friend of mine was supposed to go to the concert, Leah, and she got sick at the last minute. And to me, it always felt like she was kind of this front and that her mom didn't want her going on a concert with some strange guys down to New Jersey, And I was like, really? You're that sick? You can't sit in a lawn and listen to some music? Okay. And it felt to me that day that she just didn't want to come out and say, hey, I'm sorry, I know you bought tickets, but I just don't.
Automatic negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Be a mind reader.
Yeah, and so my friend Cynthia, she was going too, and I think my brother had picked her up, or we were picking her up, or whatever. But as I was waiting for Leah, I started writing this song here, and because it's about the negative thoughts. That she was the coolest person. She is one of the coolest people, and so the fact that my mind went to that negative space, just because I was thinking about my perspective, where here's this girl that's probably really sick. I take her at face value, and here I am trying to say, oh, she doesn't want to go to the concert with me, because I had so much building up into this concert. We were both big Foo Fighter fans and excited to see the show, and it didn't happen. And so I wrote this song here, and the opening line is, I furnish the weapons with which you destroy me. Meaning it's thoughts in my head, it's my perspective. And ironically, on the way to the show, I remember it vividly. I was driving up, I want to say, 8th Avenue, and I had on my Dave Matthews Band shirt because my friend Jennifer and I saw Dave Matthews Band at the Giant Stadium Arena, a couple nights before. And so that was the year 2000 was my year of concerts. I saw almost every show that was available. I just went to concerts. So it was Dave Matthews Band on the Under the Table and Dreaming tour, and I had that shirt on, and my brother said, oh, I'm hungry, let's get some food. So we pulled over and got something, I think, at Blimpies, So I was driving his Buick Skyhawk. He was in the front, or Cynthia was in the front, and he was in the back, or whatever, I don't remember. But I was driving as I was eating, going through traffic during rush hour, trying to get out, to get to New Jersey, to get to the show, and my sandwich fell on my shirt, and I was like, oh no! I looked down, and that's all it took, and I rear-ended a car in front of me.
Ooh.
But I always thought it was a Carmactic rear end, because the woman worked for Sony Records. And so, I paid her off. We didn't have to deal with the insurance. I have photos to back this story up. It's kind of funny. But that was when the song was written. So the song, the idea behind it is, A, that we are our own worst enemy. But B, if you don't share what's truly in your mind and let people see what you're thinking, then A, people won't understand you, but more importantly, if your mind's not open, people can't share with you who they are. So that's why when we get into the course, open your mind and let the world inside, is like, hey, open your mind, let the world see what you're thinking, but then open your mind and let the world inside absorb things, diversify yourself, level up, and connect. So
Funk shift up.
Yeah, exactly, funk shift up. And so it starts with the B chord. I furnish the weapon with which you destroy me. Now these voices in my head are starting to annoy me. Ripping and pulling and pulling and ripping. I ain't ever done acid, but I feel like I'm tripping. Not deceptively deceiving. My mind's got me believing.
Oh, what is that, C?
C major, yeah,
Oh, okay.
C major. To the G. There's no way of achieving. Going to the D. A mutual understanding to the A. I'm not trying to be your E major perfection. And then it goes back to G. I'm only trying to make a D major connection. Then it goes to A minor. Come get naked, open your mind. Now it goes to E minor. Open your mind and let the world inside. Open your mind to G, to let the world D. Back to the B. No longer in my head are voices that annoy me. Just the answers I was seeking. Now it's time to deploy me. Let me flip the page here. Now goes to screaming and kicking and screaming. No need to wake up, 'cause we're always dreaming. Coordinated deceiving. My mind's got me believing. There's no way of achieving a mutual understanding. I'm not trying to be some perfection. So that time, the first time when it goes to the E, it's an E major. So the first time it goes, it's really weird, right? It goes, mutual understanding. I'm not trying to go to the E major. Perfection. Perfection is a major thing, right? And so
the minor.
the minor's the next time around. The first time around is the major.
Well, there was a minor.
Yeah, the second time around on that same passage, right there.
Yes, so it's this one. So open your mind.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, it's the one right after the A minor, but
the first time you do the major, and the second time you do the minor. So it's like
and then the third time you do the major.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it's like it's that shift between major and minor, the yin to the yang, and finding balance in the universe. So
Yeah.
it's like mutual understanding. We don't need to become some major. We only got to make a connection. That to the minor. Come get naked, open your mind, minor to the world inside. Open your mind, let the world back to the beat. I furnish the weapon with which you destroy me. Now these voices in my head are starting to annoy me. Ripping and pulling and pulling and ripping. I ain't ever done acid, but I feel like I'm tripping. deceptively deceiving. My mind's got me believing there's no way of achieving mutual understanding. I'm not trying to be your perfection. I'm only trying to make a connection. So come get naked, open your mind. Open your mind and let the world inside. Open your mind and let the world inside. No longer in my head are voices that annoy me, just the answers I was seeking. Now it's time to deploy thee. Screaming and kicking and kicking and screaming. There's no need to wake up as we're always dreaming. Coordinated deceiving. My mind's got me believing that there's no way of achieving a mutual understanding. We don't need to become some perfection. We're only got to make a connection. So come get naked, open your mind. Open your mind and let the world inside. Open your mind and let the world. B major. Inside.
Is it E major?
B major at the end. Inside. And then it goes to the next song, wherever that is.
You have a picture of a squirrel at the end of it.
So there's the book that I'm making, right? So read the caption on the squirrel there. So yes, we are often just as foreign to those that are foreign to us, yet very similar, with fear and doubt being the separating space. And this is...
Yet at the same time, it's also like one of the connecting similarities of humans.
Yeah.
Mammals all share the same emotions. Like, we all have these same emotions. I'm reading one of Darwin's books, is like the expressions and emotions of animals and man. And he just tries to like over and over again, like, hey, we basically react to three things. It's either like something to do with survival. There's like the antagonist to that, where it doesn't really seem to have a survival purpose, but it's like almost the opposite reaction. I can't think of a good example at the moment. And then the third principle that he mentions is like when there's an overexcitement of emotions, like it spreads. So like this is kind of a twofold example. Like a dog is a pretty common. It's used throughout the book. So you have a dog, like it sees its owner, like. Ears go back, it's shaking its tail, it's wagging, like a lot of that's just it's overexpression of emotion, like that leaks to other nerve impulses basically, and so none of those really have a useful instinct. Now the ears going back is actually one of those like antagonistic examples, because dog is like alert, fight or flight kind of thing. Ears perk up and they're looking for something, so it's like on edge. Now the opposite of that would be like in love and happy, like the ears go back. It's almost like there's no use to that. It's just the opposite of the useful trait. It's kind of interesting, but like we all react. I mean, we're mammals as well. So the point being, like the dog will have this overexcitement of. I think that's kind of what music is, and it's been fun kind of reading this book out at bars, because I'm like, wow, I'm just watching like mammals mate. Like I'm just watching this guy like try to sing, and he can't sing, but he loves the song. And this is how we do it, this is how we do it. And he's just drunk enough to sing, otherwise he wouldn't be singing. But the girl that he likes is singing, so now he's singing it on top of the drinking. And it's like this whole like ritualistic, It's
connector.
weird too, but
Music is a great common denominator. I often look at like what you're saying there is just like the true test of free will is the mastery of emotions and the acceptance of emotions. All too often people say, "Oh, you shouldn't let the people see you cry. Don't get angry." But that's like saying a pot of water that's under a hot flame not to boil. What are you expecting when you put intense heat under a liquid? Something's going to get a chain reaction going. And in our body, there's chemicals, and you push the buttons long enough, but you say, oh, you got to stay calm, you got to stay cool. And there is some level of going inward and mastering that to not being as affected. But there comes a breaking point when there's certain things you can't change that people just don't respect and don't think that, oh, well, that's all on you. But as the instigator, as the catalyst for that emotion, there is some sort of ownership that should be taken into account there. That hey, if you didn't do this, that person wouldn't have gotten upset. And so that's kind of where it also come back to the song. Whereas we all are pieces of this big complex Lego, this big jigsaw puzzle. And
all
if you
pieces of time.
yeah, and if you don't respect another's uniqueness and allow them to find their place in the connectivity of it all and tell them they have to do this, they have to do, no one has to do anything. Free will is the gift that we're all given. It's being respectful of that free will we've all been given and finding a way for us all to come into our own but play nice with each other. That's it. We're all in the sandbox, in the sands of time. Just let everyone make their things and just be respectful. Don't go kicking someone's sandcastle because you couldn't make a sandcastle.
Did you hear what I played on Tuesday?
I heard. You played a couple different things.
Well, when I opened, for open mic night, I did a couple of my own songs. To
This
open.
past Tuesday?
Yeah.
I wasn't there. No, I went to get tacos.
Yeah,
I went to get tacos. You want to play it now?
Well, so yeah, I just did 2 songs, but I'm gonna show you one of them. I'm gonna take the cape off because I don't like capos.
Is this one of your songs?
It's one of my songs.
So
this is one that I think that you would. I played this in mind with thinking this is kind of a Johnny song, because it's got parts to it, and it just. You can kind of make what you want out of the lyrics, but the lyrics are meant to be like short and universally adaptable.
Yes, kind of like where Flint got up on stage and was inspired to start singing.
Yeah.
Like that's what I gives me the most satisfaction when people can sing along. I try to put stuff out there to give people a little bit of a nugget.
It's like I stayed and talked to Alan for a while after on Tuesday, and I love how like open he's been able to get, because like I remember the first time he was there, he hadn't been out in a year. He's still like, and he's not like over COVID by any means, but like terrified of getting COVID, like, and he's been fully vaxxed too, terrified because he's lost friends. And so when it hits you a little bit different, like you don't know what you could have done to prevent that, why couldn't it have been me kind of thing. So I'm sure there's a lot of emotions he's felt, but like being up there playing music, and like he'll hear a song now and he'll go run up there and play it. Like,
do you see the piece that I have here right now? Not to interrupt you, but when the Blue Jays and the Squirrels can sit at the same table and enjoy a meal together, that is what brings me joy. Because for a while the Squirrels would run the table, and it would be war between the birds and the Squirrels. But now they've gotten a little bit of synergy going, where they take turns and they can share the same table without getting scared.
So, fun fact that I didn't know. There's actually someone who sells bird feed at the Hope Sound Farmers Market. Like good natural stuff. You'd be interested in it because it's like good quality stuff. She told me that the way to not get squirrels to eat your bird feed is you put hot things in, like cayenne pepper, ghost pepper, something like that. The birds are actually completely unaffected by it. So the birds will eat all that stuff. The squirrels, they see it or they smell it and they're like, nope, not going to be a part of that.
I feel that would be some sort of acute torture.
Yeah, if they were to start eating it, it would be like if you were to just start eating it. Like, you'd be like, nope, not having any more of that. That is just awful. I'm dying. They're not going to die. Like, their senses are way more acute than ours. Like, their sense of smell especially. So they get up there and they're like, nope, this is not for me. But the birds, it's something about them. They don't have the receptors for it.
Interesting.
So they can just go through all of it, and it doesn't affect them whatsoever. This lady was actually talking to me about it, like, without knowing that. And she was like, yeah, we used to put them out, and, like, the birds would just eat all of, like, the ghost pepper seeds, like, no problem. And I'm like, it's because they're actually not affected. I just learned that a week ago. There's nothing, like, they don't have the receptor to experience that spiciness.
That's so Interesting.
Yeah.